I'm always looking for fun ways to remember things, sometimes using or creating acronyms. Music students will remember "Every Good Boy Does Fine" and "All Cows Eat Grass." High school algebra gave us FOIL for the order of operations. Remember first, last, outers, inners. Well, there's a few things to remember about neuroendocrine tumors, or NETs for short, and its treatment. So rather than an acronym, I used a children's song. Just a little something I adapted from the Net Vitals worksheet. It's not your average nursery rhyme inspiration, but it works. It's about a guy minding his own business, but over the years has been slowly developing these strange symptoms. After a few years, he takes it up with his doctor. After his obligatory 7 years of misdiagnoses by his general practitioner for Crohn's disease, irritable bowel, asthma, menopause, and a couple other things, they ran across some suspicious results when someone ran a test for 5-HIAA and chromogranin A, which are blood tests. So he was referred to an oncologist, his neighborhood local oncologist. Here's a song about him, the patient, and also the oncologist, and a few more people down the line. You probably know the tune. There was a farmer had a net. Wait a minute. Whoa. He had a what? He had a net. A neuroendocrine tumor. And while we're at it, we won't call him a farmer. That would be politically insensitive. But agricultural life sciences practitioner would have too many syllables for that first line. And he started out with many things that were eventually removed or killed, rendered lifeless. There was a patient had a net, and bingo was his name. Oh, primary gallbladder liver mets, primary gallbladder liver mets, primary gallbladder liver mets, and bingo was his name. Oh. So the local oncologist sent him to a surgeon, and he had surgery. The gold standard first-line treatment to remove the primary tumor. And you can do the math. In this case, it's subtraction. So here's what was left. There was a patient had a net, and bingo was his name. Oh, gallbladder liver mets, gallbladder liver mets, gallbladder liver mets, and bingo was his name. Oh. But the patient then went to a net specialist. The agricultural life sciences practitioner was in for a few years of somatostatin analog therapy. We know that as octreotide or lanreotide monthly injections. But they can cause gallstones. So after seeing gallstones on the scans, the farmer went to the surgeon again. He removed the gallbladder. Do the math. Yes, more subtraction. There was a patient had a net, and bingo was his name. Oh, liver mets, liver mets, liver mets, and bingo was his name. Oh. So down the line and having good success with the somatostatin analog therapy, the farmer had an MRI with contrast. Yep, they found liver spots. Not those liver spots on the back of his hand. A spot, or lesion, is a polite word for tumors, now seen in the liver. So a specialist put the farmer in touch with an interventional radiologist, and he had microwave ablation of the localized liver lesions. And you can do the math. There was a patient had a net, and bingo was his name. Oh, Mets, Mets, Mets and Bingo was his name, oh. Well, they didn't take out the whole liver, in case you were concerned. Farther down the line, and several scans later, a few bone and other distant metastases, or Mets, showed up. I said Mets, not to be confused with Nets, which is the disease itself, and also not to be confused with the New York baseball team. The specialists determined that it was time to use peptide receptor radioisotope therapy, or PRRT, to systemically burn the tumors throughout the farmer's system. And the process was a success. Do the math. Subtraction. Again. There was a patient had a net, and Bingo was his name, oh. And Bingo was his name, oh.